Holy hearties, a very good morning. It is me, Scottie McClue, and we are, of course, live on the big one this morning, YouTube, live streaming just for you to say thank you and a very, very warm welcome. I hope you're all well this morning and you're ready to come and join us and have a bit of a chit-chat, get yourselves into routine. I know some of you are going back to work, and also from the 4th of July, a lot of you will be back to work, and just fingers crossed that you're okay and that everything is going well for you. If you've just joined us for the first time ever and you're an alien life form from another planet, then a very warm welcome. I'm Scottie McClue, the world's top broadcaster, the first lord of the internet, and of course the world's most humble man. Very, very important. John Jones says dinky do. Good morning, John Jones, and dinky do to you. You're first on this morning, John, as far as I know. Let me just check. Yes, good morning, Scottie. Tell Mrs. McClue I said good morning. Ah, Glenn, yes. Darling! Hello. Yes, Glenn. That's it. Chap from Sheffield. Where's the Midlands now? No, well, he's in Sheffield now, but he's in the Midlands now, if you see what I mean. But he's in Sheffield isolating with his mum. Yes. Yeah. She sends her love, Glenn. Fantastic. So that's it. There we are. And Mrs. McClue and you, I think you've got a soft spot for Mrs. McClue. So there we are. Do you like the bonnet badge again? I thought we'd have the bonnet badge back. Very, very important. I haven't multi-streamed this morning, guys. The wonderful J-Dog Gaming sent me some details. I'm going to look into that you don't need all the different devices. So, we can maybe even do a bit of Skyping this morning, something like that, and have a bit of the chit-chat. Fantastic. Now, let's just see who's on here, because I feel if we can get... There we go. I feel if we can get sharing early enough and let everybody know we're on, then we can start to build quite a following in the mornings as well as at nights. Nighttime, of course, 8 o'clock sharp. Never ever miss that. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Very, very important to do that as well. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to share this just now, and that'll let us get started. So there we are. Wonderful. Right, that's that there. Wonderful. Isn't it nice to have a bit of quality chat in the morning? There we are. Scottie, hello, how are we? I can only stay till 10:15. I'm getting my eyes tested at 10:30. So there you are. I wonder if there might be some government advisors in the queue in front of you, Kareem. You never know. Some of them, did one not go for a run just to see how his eyesight was? That sort of idea. But Kareem, lovely to have you with us. Fantastic. And just to know that you're out there. As I say, we may have to chop the mornings at some point, because I may have to, like your good self, go and day job. We never give up our day job in the media, you know what I mean? Hello, Scottie. Fantastic. Welcome. Kareem, I hope you've had a good evening. Have you got a plan for the dogs for today? So I'll just say good morning to everyone. Good morning. There we are. Dinky-doo. I think I owe you all a dinky-doo. Quite sure. There we are. Good morning. Dinky-doo. Wonderful. And I've popped that into the super chat. And also, it's much easier because we're not multi-streaming this morning. There we are. Good morning, Dinky-Doo from Scottie McClue. Do you like that? The world's top talk show. Fantastic. And as we build and build, because we're still very young, there's so much media around, but I got sent a lovely device the other day. I have to watch something, lovely device, and that allows us to go on the big telly. I want to go a drive and a good walk, but no idea yet. How is your dog? He's a lot better, Kareem, absolutely. He's on the glucosamine for his joints, and he seems to be liking that. Certainly hasn't affected his tail. Lots of tail wagging going on. So there we are, and lots of telling me that another of these biscuits, yes, he's very, very good at indicating with his eyes and his nose. Biscuits up there. And what he does, Kareem, he blocks me from leaving the kitchen until he's had his biscuit. So he sits right on the doorstep in case you haven't seen him. Good morning, Scotty. Dinky do to you, says the wonderful Robert Scrimger. Good morning, Robert. Lovely to have you with us. Glad you're up and about and well. Fantastic stuff. I wonder if there's anybody sneaking a peek at their work. Don't come on and fess up. We don't want that. But I wonder if there's anybody sneaking a peek. I know somebody yesterday was having a right good listen. Have we all liked the stream this morning, guys? I need half a dozen of these. As soon as, that would be fantastic. As soon as, if we can like the stream. Have we got too much light from above, would you say? I might just see if I can change that. Well, I've liked them, but let's tell everybody we're on first. I think that is step one. Tell the nation that you're actually on. Scotty, I'm going to get ready to go. I'll stay logged on to the show, so I'm here in spirit. Kareem, do tell me at some point when you have a minute what it sounds like radio-wise, because I would be quite happy if you all turned me on in the morning. I think I'll rephrase that. If you put Scottie McClue's live stream on, and if you just walked away and used it as radio, you know, because people have been saying, oh, it sounds brilliant, Scotty. And I say, well, you don't have to, you know, have a swatch of my coupon all the time. That's an idea. Kareem, take care of yourself. I know you're anxious. You'll be on a time scale, and look after yourself out there, social distancing, all that stuff. You know all that. I don't need to tell you. As they will have a lovely day, Kareem, as well. Great to be with you. And see if you can squeeze us into your schedule tonight at 8 o'clock. Ta-ra-la! So there we are. The wonderful Kareem. What a great guy. And he's popping out for an eye test because he was telling us he had headaches at the computer. Good morning, China, says Alistair Campbell. Alistair, good morning to all countries in the world. So there you are. Absolutely, yes. And good morning to you, China. Fantastic. Scotty, can you Bluetooth it from YouTube to your car or radio? Yes, you must be able to, because the wonderful Gordon Robertson says he listens when he goes shopping. And he's changed to me from a public service broadcaster who does one funny program. So there you are. They may do others, but I think my experience is that this is the only funny one. And he listens to Scottie McClue in the car. So it must be able to Bluetooth from YouTube to the car. Anybody know about Bluetoothing? So there you are. Can we help Kareem out here? Very, very important. Très important. Right, guys, I'm just sharing right now to say we're live. And, oh, well, it's all there for them, isn't it? I'll just pop that in there. Wonderful. Let everybody know. You know, let people know. You don't let people know, then how do they know? That's what I say. Very, very important. Très important. There we go. And we don't need to put it onto the newsfeed, do we? So take that out of there, put it into the story, and I'll send it to the story, and then we'll share it to the big Scottie McClue page and see what gives. This is what you've got to do. I have to say, terrestrial digital television probably wins in terms of distribution at the moment in many ways. But, you know, the internet will catch up very, very quickly. And I think lockdown will have made a huge difference to the advance of technology. Whenever you get a major crisis, you have an advance in technology. The wonderful J-Dog Gaming has just joined us. J-Dog Dinky Do. I'm just saying I'm not live streaming on Facebook this morning because I want to look into the stuff you sent me and see what we can do with that. But I'm also thinking, J-Dog, that we build up the stream here. I was just talking away. Now, can you help Kareem out if he's still listening? Can he Bluetooth YouTube to his car radio? That's what I'm just wondering, J-Dog. Do you know about that one? J-Dog's brilliant, brilliant young man, and very, very good technically, very wise. And he does his own stream. So they are J-Dog's stream, which I think will work great. Do we have too much light from above, guys? Do tell. Spill the beans. Right, what have I got here? I'm going to get sharing and sharing and sharing and sharing. It's not easy to do when we're multi-streaming because I've got several devices round about me. and I have to lift and lay them. Now, these are tiny, tiny bits of housekeeping that we will get sorted out. There's no doubt about that. And I think that's fair, because anybody at my stage in the game starting off, unless they happen to be loaded, and even then, but it's the content that matters. Content is king. So, all your television and radio channels have got some good distribution, but they don't have the content that we've got here. They don't have Scottie McClue. Yes, Scottie, I can Bluetooth by pushing a button. Okay, Dick, you do speak tonight. Take care of yourself, Kareem. That's fantastic. If you connect your Bluetooth car radio to phone, you should be able to. J-Dog, that's brilliant. He's got it. He's just told us he's got it. Fantastic. Death Blow Materia. I used to listen to Sheffield Hallam FM when I was growing up. Fits of laughter. Do you still do a radio show I can listen to in England? Dinky do. No Death Blow. I gave up the radio. Well, it gave me up for now, about 4 months ago now, 16 weeks since McClue's been on the radio. And it'll be something like that. But who knows, because radio's in a bit of a state at the moment with all the lockdown, what have you, presenters having to do it from home, which of course puts me right at the front of the queue. So there you are. So Death Blow, welcome. We love it. You love Hallam FM. What a top radio station that is. So there you are. And I loved being on Hallam FM. And I loved Sheffield and Yorkshire and Doncaster and Barnsley and all your lovely Yorkshire people. Fantastic, that is. Right, now, I'm just going to share on the page. So here it comes. We're going to share on Scottie McClue's big page. Just let everybody know what is what. And guys, if you could share and let them know as well, because people forget there's so much in their lives. Glenn Peacock, back home, lad, aye, right enough, Glenn, that's it, yeah. So there we go. So Death Blow, you are welcome to Scottie McClue Live. I'm thinking I might put off the big light above. I've got some lights above going, but look, tell me if it goes too dark. Give us a second. There we go. Oh, yes. Yes. I'm not just an athlete, Now, is that better for the Scottie McClue badge? I think that's actually better. What do you say? Tell us how your picture is, guys. And you can get us on the big screen if you've got all that. David Taylor says, good morning, all. Good morning, David Taylor. Always lovely to have you with us. We've just got another gentleman's just joined us, Death Blow Materia from Yorkshire. And he used to listen to Scottie McClue on Hallam FM radio. Outstanding radio station. So there we go. But yes, no, radio and television are having a bit of a struggle. And just before the lockdown, I did offer this program to a television channel because I think Scottie McClue live for, say, half an hour on a Friday night, I don't know, 11:30 to midnight, something like that, and up for the chit-chat, the audience would be through the roof for that. And if we took phone calls, texts, emails, all that stuff, there we go. Is Johnson okay? I'll just check. He is about this morning. He sort of floats, Johnson, and he talks quietly in the same kind of voice. So, I saw him at breakfast. So there we are. We had a couple of rashers of bacon and one egg this morning. I'm going a bit lighter, to see if we can keep the muscle going. Johnson? Yes, sir. Johnson, people are asking for you on YouTube. Very good, sir. Very good, yes. Fantastic, Johnson. The McClue Army is growing by the day. David Taylor, trust me, when the word gets out there, remember, I don't have the pennies at the moment to advertise on telly and radio, on street advertising, outdoor advertising, even the newspapers, we had Scottie McClue on, but we may well get to that stage and do a little bit of that. And also, we have to see what transcends from traditional media to the internet, because, so much of people's advertising budget goes on the internet. You know, I mean, I notice that YouTube are putting ads into our stream. So there we are. So that's fine. So, you know, I don't mind, you know, keep everything going, I say, David. But it has been a fantastic success. You know, you can look at it, you say, but your numbers are small at the moment. It's going to say, we're just starting. We're just starting. You know, we've got all the time in the world, or how long we've got. Who knows how long we've got? Still listening on FM and not got round to buying DAB radio yet. Well, I don't know. You see, I think DAB has been a bit late to the table. Typical Britain. DAB's been in for, it must be coming up to 30 years. I can remember it being demonstrated. They took the late Lord Gordon of Strathblane, Jimmy Gordon, lovely man, and they took Jimmy and a whole load of top radio executives at the time on a bus, and they took them through the Clyde Tunnel and said, see, no loss of FM in a tunnel, no interference, blah, blah, blah. And DAB was the business. But then, since then, it's been thinned out, and high fees for multiplexes. Had to think of the word there, multiplex, you know, and it's expensive and what have you. So, you know, that's kind of added to it, the cost, startups. Having said that, I think we'd a couple of new radio stations started this week. We've got Times Radio, which I believe will be on DAB, and things like that. So, and these will be good quality radio stations. There's quite a few on DAB coming on, but, you know, YouTube and SCOTTIE McCLUE, definitely a way ahead, miles ahead. Advertising on the buses, Glenn Peacock, yes, that's still very effective, because as traffic slows down, you know, not so much just now because less people are out and about, but as traffic slows down, people get behind a bus and they're like, oh, SCOTTIE McCLUE's on the radio, I'll give that. And of course, they're in their car, so they might just change the radio right there and then. There we are, and here McClue shouting and bawling at some hapless idiot, you know, that's talking complete and utter nonsense. You know, so McClue has to talk sense. That's what I'm all about, sense, common sense. You can't beat it, I say. Yes, Glenn, a bit of advertising in the buses, and also the big signs, the big flashy advertised signs, big screens you see on the side of motorways and trunk roads and A-class roads. A-class roads. Anybody remember an A-class road and a B-class road? There we are. Was there such a thing as a C-class road? Does anybody remember that? There we are. My uncle was very high up in the Ministry of Transport, and he worked for Ernest Marples, was the Minister of Transport at the time. There were, and my cousin, they were asked in primary school to write what their parents did, and she wrote down, my daddy works on the roads and my mum does nothing at all. We love all that. So there we are. So Alistair Campbell, yes, the DAB radio, I have got one, but it's an old one. And I don't think, because I mean, McClue's always been ahead of his time, as you know. And I don't think that we're able to get much of the modern stuff on that. It's a clever idea, digital audio broadcasting. But FM to me, you see, because you're using the actual airwaves with AM and FM. AM's kind of had its day. That I blame on the radio companies, but AM's expensive to get out there because the transmitter costs are high because you need a lot of power. But we know that the old AM, a bit, but we're all brought up on it, you know. Who remembers listening to the wonderful Radio Luxembourg? It wasn't always clear, but you listened. Who remembers listening to the Pirates? Radio Caroline, there, Radio London, Radio Scotland, yes. Beat the band and join the clan on station 242. Radio Scotland's playing just for you. We love it. That sort of stuff. And I think the thing is that that kind of radio came in and your listeners were all very, very young and they stuck with radio. So say you were 13 in 1963. You're 70 now. You know? You're 70. That sort of idea. Say you were 19 in 1969. You're 70. You see? So that's why people go, we're trying to attract the younger audience. Say, no, all you're going to do is make your older audience very fed up. It's wonderful. It was like when commercial television went through the night and they thought, what we'll do is we'll catch everybody who's having a couple of cans and a late night fag and all that sort of stuff, and we'll get them. So they put out this banging music, and they found that the bulk of the audience was pensioners who couldn't really sleep very well. So that it would be better putting on, movies, Reach for the Sky, that sort of thing. Get that Kenneth Moore playing Douglas Bader. Get that sort of stuff up there. And that would have been so much better for them, I would have said. I'm just going to share with the Scottie McClue fan group, lads, and let them know as well that we are here and we are in business. Scottie McClue fan group. Right, that's gone out to them. And if you can all do the same, that would be a tremendous help. There we are. Yes, lots and lots of different advertising. That's the idea, get it out. But the best thing's word of mouth, guys. If you can be kind enough, and it is kindness, to say, no, I'll subscribe to Scottie and I like the streams. I mean, give us another half dozen likes this morning. I like the streams, and I'll subscribe and I'll share. And I don't think that's too much to ask. I'm amazed at the number of people. But having said that, there's been a huge shift, and you'll know what I mean by this, Glenn. There's been a huge shift in subscribers watching Scottie McClue. So when we started off, there was something like, 10% subscribers and 90% just having a listen to see what was what. We're now, I think the last count, 72% subscribers. So people are going, no, I'll subscribe to that big time. Ask Johnson to come round to my mum's and cook me something, says the wonderful Glenn Peacock. What would you like cooked, Glenn? Tell me what you fancy. Because Johnson may, we originally got Johnson from an agency that may have shut down by now, He's a fair age. Give it time, Scottie, from Little Acorns, Great Oaks. Alistair Campbell, you have hit the nail on the head. You have nailed it. Do you like all that stuff that's creeping into our language from television? You've absolutely nailed it. You're ahead of the game. You're some boy. People are looking for... what else have we got? Yeah, right on. Full English breakfast, bacon, sausage, egg, tomato, hash browns and beans. Glenn, stop! You're making McClue hungry. How many people, when you heard that, thought, nobody mind? Because people do that, don't they? They say, cook breakfast. Oh, no. Well, I've got it on. Would you not take a wee bacon and butter? All right then. And I've got eggs on. Would you not take an egg? Just the one. Bacon and egg. That'd be lovely. And I've got a wee bit black pudding and. Well, okay then. And beans, a spoonful of beans from the pot at the back of the stove here. Well, if you've got them, and a wee hash brown. Yes, lovely. Thanks. Just the one. I'll take two. And a nice cup of tea and orange juice. Glenn Peacock, stop! Fantastic. There we are. Johnson, a full English breakfast for 12 people, please. Yes, all on YouTube. We love it. Fantastic stuff. Scottie, quick history teaser. Which British monarch wanted to ban smoking? Was it Robert the Bruce? Well, wait till we see. Wait till we see. Who was it? You see, about 4 kings died of smoking. Edward VII, who died at 70, Queen Victoria's eldest son, He was a massive cigar smoker, and even into the fags which were coming in then. It's cigarettes, they're less harmful for you, I was saying. Just a lot of rubbish, very dangerous. So Edward VII, who was born in the 1840s and died in 1910. I think he was born in 1841. And because he was Queen Victoria's eldest child. And she blamed him for killing Albert because he'd been seeing a young lady, an actress on the side, and Albert had gone to Cambridge to sort it. And Cambridge in 1861, you could get the cholera and the typhoid, open drains and what have you. So that was that. And poor old Prince Albert took ill and died. And he wouldn't be very old. I'm trying to think what it was. I think he was 42 when he died. Anyway, long story short, so that's Edward VII. So I don't think he was anti-smoking. His son, George V, the Queen's grandfather, Georgie, he smoked all the time. He died at about 70. Yes. And it was maybe even a wee bit older, was he? Trying to think when he was born. I wonder if he was born in 1864 and he died in 1936. So maybe 72, something like that. So he was a big smoker. His son, the one that abdicated, Uncle David, Edward VIII, the uncrowned king, who poor soul was sent into exile, he was a massive smoker. So I don't think he would want to ban it. His brother, George VI, the Queen's father, he had a lung out in his early 50s from smoking. He was a huge smoker, plain cigarettes, I think. So that was that. And I think even in his early days, Prince Philip smoked. So did the Queen want to ban smoking? Was it the Queen? Or was it Queen Victoria? Did Queen Victoria want to ban smoking? I'll go for Queen Victoria and see if it was her. It was James I of England and the 6th of Scotland. Was he anti-smoking? Well, there wouldn't be any fags in. It would be pipes in his day. And I don't know when cigars became the thing. Sorry, Scottie, I didn't pop on again last night. I was watching The Young Ones and it was 40 minutes long. Fantastic. J-Dog, what do you think of it? Interesting one. A new departure in comedy at the time. Cups of tea and slice of cake. There we are. Johnson, sir. Johnson, could you, that big walnut cake, if you slice that up, yes, I'd like it for one of our top listeners and viewers. Fantastic. So we might be getting some cake on. I've told Johnson. So there we are. Don't worry, J-Dog. No. James I. Robert, you got McClue there, big style. So there we are. Obviously nobody listened to him, though. What's your favourite cereal, says Glenn? Well, we don't want to do too much advertising, but I call them wheat bangs. There we are. Very, very important. I do like the honey nut stuff, quite nice. And I actually put just a wee drizzle of squeezy honey on. Diggity Scotties is the wonderful Robster Mary. Diggity Robster. Guys, can have more likes. And has everybody subscribed? Very important. Kareem was with us this morning. He's listening in his car. The program is completely mad, but that's what makes it funny, a strange comedy. J-Dog, yes, the reason I asked you, I'm very interested in how it appears to you and to your generation. It is a bit mad. You know, they're not used to smash the place up and all that sort of idea. The young ones. So there we are. And one of them, actually, I can remember, I got put in touch with his agent, but she wasn't able to take me at the time. And that was before I had my own fabulous agent. So there we are. But very, very nice lady was his agent. And they did very well at the time, the young ones. Remember that. Have you still got the studio nurse, Scotty? Yes, she's off this morning. She's obviously very busy with all the NHS stuff. But she's there, and we can quite painlessly cut people off. They won't feel a thing. They'll just very quietly disappeared from the stream. We've done it. We do it quite a lot at nights. If you join us at night, Young Ones is a great comedy, says Rob Strameri. What's your favourite comedy, guys? What would you say? They put their heads through concrete walls and stuff. Yeah, they were just sort of crazy. See, up until then, a lot of comedy had been quite gentle, called sitcom. And it was quite light. And then along came Alexei Sayle and the Young Ones. And they kind of shook everything up a bit. So your comedians that used to say, you know, my grandmother came round the other day. It was bucketing rain. I said, don't stand out there getting soaked, lovey. Go home. And, you know, that sort of thing. So it was just kind of quite gentle chit-chat back and forwards. And then in came the Young Ones, and they were just crazy, crazy stuff, you know, because, again, television was wanting to attract a younger audience, J-Dog. They really struggle. And when you talk to young people, I say, what television do you watch? And they say, nobody watches television. Very sort of defensively, because they're on YouTube and things like that. Were you watching on the telly or were you watching on YouTube out of interest, J-Dog? Bottom, says Glenn Peacock. I beg your pardon, sir. Raise your game. Yes, comedy. There was a comedy called Bottom. Yes, and we had some great Scottish comedy as well. Fantastic. The Scottish Comedy Unit came in. Only Fools and Horses, genius. Still Game, genius. Dad's Army, genius. Think you and I are going to agree on this. Dinner Ladies, genius. The list is endless for great comedies. Rob Strameri, you are absolutely 100%. The late, great Victoria Wood, lovely, lovely lady. When I joined Red Rose Radio, I think Victoria was still a director of Red Rose Radio, along with Russell Harty. Anybody remember Russell Harty, the interviewer? Guys, I haven't had a drop of tea. The big mug's back. No, this is the big mug, not this. I mean, I don't have any regrets about show business because I've been lucky to be very, very successful in it. But I would have liked to have done a lot more television comedy. So there you are. Like to have done a bit of that. If you look up Scottie McClue talks to Nicky Campbell, so there you are. You should probably get that on YouTube. I was watching on the telly. J-Dog Gaming, yes. Now, am I right in thinking that because of lockdown, television's bringing a lot of archive stuff back because they can't get the live shows? The late great Rick Mail and Aid Edmondson. Yes, and Rick Mail, that's right. It was Rick Mail that I was to see if I could get his agent at the time. Wonderful lady. So there we are. TV made programs for the whole family. Great weekly series. Yes, Alistair Campbell, do you not remember? We used to pop on Sid James. In later life was great in comedy. He was on Yes Minister. These sort of things. Eric Sykes and Hattie Jakes. You know, again, Dad's Army. That's true. There's no new comedies around. No, because they'll not take Scottie McClue on to make them. Yes, Channel Gold's great for comedies. So there you are. Harry Worth. Does anybody remember the late, great Harry Worth? Does anybody remember Frankie Howard? Fantastic, you know. Somebody once asked, why were these people so successful? And one of our directors at drama school said, because they believed in what they did. And that came back to me recently, because I'm at a stage now, I'm getting idiots going, why don't you give it up, Scottie? Fed up with your modern stuff, all that kind of rubbish. Right? Benny Hill, Morecambe and Wise, Tommy Cooper. Well, Tommy died, Morecambe and Wise, Eric died, but these were things that should never have been taken off television. Benny Hill. People were saying, "Oh yes, it's not really politically correct." People don't watch comedy for it to be politically correct. That is not the first thing in someone's mind. So if you see something very funny, and yes, of course, it had the old male-female thing. But if you see something very funny, you don't go, hang on a minute, I'm just wondering if this is politically correct. That sort of stuff. Some stuff they did have to take off because it wouldn't be politically correct now. Love Thy Neighbour, that, the black and white minstrel show, things like that. Nay, nay, thrice nay, says Alistair Campbell. Now, you've reminded me, nay, nay, thrice nay. What about Blackadder? Brilliant, genius writing. Harry Worth, 2 legs, arms in the mirror. That was him, yes, at the start. You couldn't really see me there. Harry Worth, that was him, and he sorted his hat and smiled. And that was Harry Worth, And a friend of mine told me a lovely story about Harry. He went to open something, and he was very, very popular. Huge numbers turned up. And then they said to him, Harry, would you mind making just a little speech at the end? He went, no, dear boy, I don't work without a script. I don't do anything unscripted. So they're very interesting. Harry Worth, fantastic. And he was a great guy. He did a lot of solo comedy, a style I quite kind of favor. And there were imaginary people like Auntie was always coming round to dinner. Auntie's coming to dinner tonight. That sort of stuff. So good, gentle comedy. Blackadder, just brilliant. Terrific sarcasm in it and what have you. Spitting Image with the puppets. Genius. Absolute genius. Any more likes? Like you like? So there we are. Yes, the 2 Ronnies. Now, the 2 Ronnies again, you see, they did some stuff that might have been construed as not entirely politically correct, but genius. Ronnie Barker had to send scripts in under an assumed name to the BBC. They were all that nonsense. Hale and Pace. Yes, now Hale and Pace I rather liked as well. Cannon and Ball. Remember Cannon and Ball? All these kind of duos. Fantastic. And there are also a terrific number of comedians who didn't go on television. Some of them insisted on not going on television at the time. That was the thing. Very, very interesting. Kenneth Williams was funny, yet tragically unhappy in his life. Yes, I worry about that somebody that has the double thing. I mean, if you were to meet me off screen, and this is very disappointing news, I'm just the same as I am on screen. So that's, and everybody, all my friends and everybody will tell you, that kind of idea. So there we are. But it seems to go down very well. So I like to crack the odd gag. And there's a lot of you watching this morning who will have met me off screen. Joe Pasquale. Yeah, Joe Pasquale, absolutely. We like Joe as well. Great stuff, Glenn. I mean, these were all superb. The wonderful Stan Boardman, who watches our stream very often. Great comedian as well, fantastic. These are very good. Frank Carson, Les Dawson. Now, the Les Dawson show, they must have had massive viewing. Les Dawson was the same off-screen as on. Was he, John? One of the saddest moments in my life, I went down to Lancashire and we just got the news that Les had died because people were saying to me, Scottie, I'll introduce you to Les and that. They're lovely people. And, I met Ken Dodd. Yes, met Ken Dodd and had a lovely chat to him about comedy. And he seemed to appreciate that, not somebody overawed, somebody trying to be funny, trying to get him to tell. We just chatted. And he went, hello, young man. And who are you? We were chatting at a function. In fact, I'll tell you what it was. It was the opening of Century Radio in Manchester. And Ken was a great radio man. He'd been a director of Radio City in Liverpool. And I said, "So, young man, how are you?" And he said, "Right. And who are you again?" And I said, "Ken, you won't have heard of me." I said, "I'm SCOTTIE McCLUE." And he went, "Yes, I have. Dinky too." And we chatted, and we just stood having a chat. And I said, "How do you build a gag?" And a girl passed with high fashion boots with chrome toe caps on them and the rest of it. And Ken immediately said to her, he said, well, I introduced her. I said, "Ken, this is so-and-so." And I said, "Ah, yes, hello, lovely to meet you." And then he said, "Tell me, love, do you do a lot of mountaineering?" She went, "Mountaineering? No." "Do you go climbing a lot, love?" I'm just looking at your boots there, and I was wondering if you did a lot of climbing. And we started to laugh right away, and this was him just building a gag off the top of his head, just from her shoes. Ricky Fulton was something special. Yes, he was Alistair Campbell. And also his sidekick, Jack Milroy, was very special as well. He was a lovely, lovely guy, as was Ricky. And their wives, Mary and Kate. I knew Kate, of course, from television. She was super as well. Ricky Fulton and Kate. They were a lovely, lovely couple. Kate Matheson. She'd been, a lot of you that watched Scottish television in the 70s would remember Kate. The royal family is brilliant as well. Yes, we like the Queen and Prince Philip and Prince Charles. They are brilliant. But also, what about the royal family? Yes, with Jim Royal. Did you like that? Carolina Heron. There we are. Absolutely, Robster. What were the old Cowcaddens STV studios like, Scotty? Well, John G., I actually worked for Scottish Opera for 4 years. When I came out of drama school, I went straight to Scottish Opera. I'm very, very privileged. And we had two premises. We had Elm Bank Street, and we had the Theatre Royal had just been refurbished. So I had an office in both of them. I had an office in the Theatre Royal. And it was lovely in the morning to come down the stairs, the big chandeliers and everything. And I also remember somebody of this loud voice coming out of the Theatre Royal, shouting, saying, "Can you please stop it? Because you're putting me off and you're putting the singers off." And I said to one of the senior execs, I said, "Who's shouting?" And he went, "Alex is shouting at the orchestra." And it was Sir Alexander Gibson. Alex Gibson, lovely man, perfectly natural to work with, great to be about. You would come and see us, oh gosh, shake hands. Yes, lovely, lovely, nice to see you. Died far too young, these people. Dick Telfer, head of music, had taught music at George Watson's in Edinburgh. Lovely, lovely people to work with, and great for me to learn from. Leonard Hancock, Graham Vick, the director, John Cox, one of opera's finest directors, was our boss. And so I worked in the Theatre Royal. And that was STV's building, STV's offices. They had floored over the whole theatre and probably kept it in repair. In fact, I know they kept it in repair because Bill Brown, Sir William Brown, was a lovely, lovely man, and he was very pivotal in the arts in Scotland. And then when we went to the Cowcaddens, that was a new building, really, so it was beautiful. And the studios were outstanding, big, big, big studios. Nowadays, you wouldn't need that. Variety Theatre was the golden days, sadly missed. Frank Spencer, says Glenn Peacock. Mr. Bean, Ryan Atkinson as well himself. Outstanding comedian. Monty Python, John Cleese and Graham Chapman and Eric Idle and fantastic people. That's what I meant, but autocorrect got me. What was that one, Robster? Oh, yes. So, John G., when I worked for STV, they were in what we called the new building at Cowcaddens before it became the great big SMG building. That sort of stuff. And I think the Herald were in there as well. Ricky Fulton really was something special, fantastic. Why the royal family is genius is it's just what families do sitting in a flat in a big city with no money. they watch the telly and banter with each other. When they come round on a Saturday afternoon, the telly's on, and they sit smoking, watching the telly and going, "So how have you been, love? Oh, have you had a good week? Ah, that's nice." Ricky Gervais, yes, like Ricky as well, very funny man. That's The Office, so there we go. And remember, I was working at nights, so a lot of stuff I had to video and watch it back. In those days, you had to set your videotape and it clicked in mechanically, clickety-click. And I had a very advanced telly with a video slot in the telly. Then one night it just went zzz, and a wee puff of smoke went up, and that was the end of that. When I took it to the telly repairman, he went, "Not really a lot you can do with these." Whereas old black and white tellies, you could take it to the television repairman. It was open on a Saturday afternoon. And he had his lab coat on, not like a Labrador, not a big black furry coat, but he had his lab coat on, and he would get the soldering iron out and put in a few new resistors or valves or whatever. So there we are. Stanley Baxter. There's a wonderful, wonderful comedian. Very, very, very funny man, Stanley. Absolutely. And I think we need to see a lot of these. Stanley Baxter's shows were just outstanding, and they should have kept Stanley going. These kind of things are very frustrating when you get somebody who is so gifted and so talented, and you get some dafty in a television company that says, "Nah, I think we'll have something different, Just that. I saw the program the other day. I've seen it before, about the start of Coronation Street, when it was to be called Florizel Street. Did anybody else see that? Tony Warren, the guy that started Coronation Street, and they were going to bin it. Mr. Sidney, Lord Bernstein, who was very, very switched on when it came to entertainment. The Bernsteins were geniuses, showbiz geniuses. And it was Mr. Cecil pushed it a wee bit, because, Sidney Bernstein had a great style round the building. He was just Mr. Sidney, and he talked to everybody. They were very kind of across the board. There wasn't any great hierarchy thing, but you knew who they were. That's the difference, You knew who they were. I remember a friend going to work for ITN, and I was saying, "How are you getting on with Sir Alistair?" This was Alistair Bonnet. And I said, "Very well. He's very nice around the place, but everybody knows who he is." It's a lovely way to put it. In other words, when they say jump, you go, "Yep, how is that not a problem?" So there we go. Wonderful. But I remember the head of ITV saying to me, he said, "Scottie, I don't know anybody who doesn't like you." Can you imagine? Now, you asked me about knighthoods. That's better than a knighthood, isn't it? And of course, the one which I've told you before, which was better than a knighthood, was Jack Milroy and Ricky Fulton were big Scottie McClue fans. "Scottie, son, Mary and I watch your show every day, son. And when you finish, son, we just put don't." Yes, with Jesse Wallace in it, EastEnders. Yes. All these sort of things. Coronation Street, great comedy, in Coronation Street as well. The soaps have gone very serious recently. There's not enough comedy. You think when Bet and Alec Gilroy ran The Rover's Return, huge comedy, Roy Barraclough and Julie Goodyear. Dad's Army was perfectly casted, absolutely perfectly casted. And the director used to say to Arthur Lowe, "Arthur, you must learn your lines, take your script home." He kept leaving his script in buses. And they would say, "There's script number 7 and a spare one to leave on the bus. So you must take your scripts home and learn." And he goes, "I'm not having this stuff in my house." Because he was a theatre man, Arthur. They loved the theatre, and they thought television was a pure imitation of working in theatre. But one of the reasons Dad's Army is so superb is not just as it genius casting, and genius writing by these two wonderful, wonderful writers, Jimmy Perry and David Croft, who went on to write many, many great comedies. And so not just had they got superb actors, they were effectively a theatrical production. So these guys were calling on their stage experience. And when John Le Mesurier, or John Le Measurer, whichever way you want to say it, used to do like this with his hand, he was keeking out through his fingers to see if the camera light was on, if it was red, ready to act. Oh, do you think that's wise, sir? Do not think those German uniforms are awfully smart. Arthur Lowe, Arthur Lowe tried to climb up. He was short, and people used to shoving his bottom with the big khaki trousers. Yes, all right. Jones with a panic, all that. Norris Cole, genius. You see, again, a wonderful theatre director. I think he ran the theatre in Scarborough, things like that. Great comedy. When you've been trained in theatre, I was trained in theatre, and you know what makes audiences laugh, because you can hear them. You know that if you tell a gag and it's only just a wee titter runs round the room, then I think I could say titter, then you realise that you haven't got the gag right, or just that night. Sometimes in theatre you can walk on and you deliver a straight line, and people fall about laughing, So, Scottie McClue goes on stage and says, "Darling, I'm home." And everybody starts to laugh. And they mutter, they talk to each other, theatrical audience go, Scottie McClue there. I once went on stage and got a round of applause when all I'd done was say my line. Something like, "Darling, I'm home." And the audience, shh. Just because it's Scottie McClue, they know you from the television and radio. Who's your favourite ever radio presenter, Scottie? Got to be Sir Terry Wogan. Out a shadow of doubt. Just head and shoulders above everything else. And my favourite television presenter as well. Loved Terry Wogan. He just got it right. See, that man, he was doing what I'm doing now 30, 40 years ago. He was talking ad lib to a television camera. And that was one of the hardest things you could do, And that was, that was him. But without a doubt, absolute top stuff. The wonderful Ken Bruce, another winner. Ray Moore in the morning, Radio 2. I was a huge Radio 2 fan for years and years. Right, thanks, J-Dog. Excellent. What I'll do is I'll take the comment down, because we're talking about a proprietary, but thank you for that. We're talking about a business, but I'll take that down. That's fantastic news. Thank you. I'll have a go at that. My laptop's too slow, J-Dog, but I've heard the other day it's possible to plug in something that just changes your laptop, makes it go fast, but it doesn't make certain things go fast. Have you heard about that? Tommy Boyd said Wogan is the best ever radio presenter too, Scott. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. If I had an ambition in radio, it would have been to work on Radio 2 and to try the breakfast show. And people at the time said Scottie McClue made a brilliant breakfast show. And then, of course, the panickers go, "Oh, no, you couldn't put Scottie on." You say, have you ever spoken to Scottie and asked him? Have you just listened to what he does late night? Have you asked him in for a coffee? Oh, no, we couldn't touch that, because they're worried about their own job rather than realising it would double their salary. Hiring Scottie McClue would double their salary, I couldn't say to a managing director who was giving me laldi one day, and I couldn't say to him, you do realize that you're here because of me? That's why you're here. That's why we have the position of managing director, because we built up the radio station. You know, I couldn't say it to him, but it was what he deserved to hear. I've heard of those adapters, absolutely, J-Dog. I don't know pricing or anything like that, but my laptop is very elderly. It was a present from a dear friend of mine when I had nothing. It was after I'd lost my life savings to the fraudster, and I had nothing. And my friend just gave me, he said, well, take my laptop. And I said, but you'll need it back. He said, oh, no, just hold on to it just now. So, but it's elderly and it's a bit slow, but it's wonderful. Otherwise, I would have had nothing. So there you are. There we are. Scottie McClue's the greatest ever, says John G. John G, it's lovely of you to say it. The audience did bear that out. Maureen Lipman, who plays Tyrone's Nan and Corrie, genius actress, actor is the correct thing now, isn't it? But an absolute genius. Beatty, remember? Fantastic. Maureen Lipman, genius. Wonderful actress. Actor. So there we are. I'll say goodbye just now. See you tonight, Scottie. J-Dog, yes. These streams are building beautifully. I am delighted with all the lovely people that we've met on the streams. Please, can you all, pardon me, stick the word out there. Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10, because it does work. And even a handful of people adding to it changes the dynamic of the stream. It's superb. And I'll just keep pressing on with it. Anyway, I told you I had a lovely friend. I don't know who it is. It's a lovely guy. Said last week, he said, Scottie, he said, you will always get an audience. And even if you didn't, you would still broadcast. There we are. It was one of the famous radio people. I just can't remember who it is. I'll say goodbye just now. See you tonight. Dinky do, J-Dog. Have a wonderful day. Are you going streaming now? Fantastic. So there we go. And delightful young man. Wonderful. Very cautious at the time. No wonder he's away. I hadn't realized we're just about out of time. Have you enjoyed the stream? Dinky do, big man. Have a great day. Respect you. Catch you later. Glenn Peacock La, you have a wonderful day. Love to Sheffield, because I can just transport myself there in my head anytime. I can see me walking along through the woods at Grenoside. I can see me at Meadowhall. I can see me down at Hillsborough at the old Hallam FM station. I can see me out the other side at Totley Door. I can see me out at Drunfield, at Chesterfield. That sort of stuff. Wonderful part of the world. Beautiful, beautiful. I've enjoyed the stream. Have a great day. Robster Mary, take great care of your dear self. Stay fabulous. That's it. We are out of time, guys. We shall dash off. And thank you very much for joining me. As I say, look after your dear selves. Join us tonight at 8 o'clock for more banter and chat. It's a lockdown special. It's what it is. You know, catch you, Scottie. Alistair Campbell, you're a top man. You have a wonderful day. It's the level of wisdom of the people that are joining us here. That is a huge sense of hope for us all. So there you are. Highly intelligent people. I've just found this. The intelligentsia are joining us. We don't have one single dafty on these Scottie McClue YouTube live streams. So that just says a lot about the genre. It's fantastic. Wonderful. Right. Catch you, Scottie. Catch you, Alistair. Have a great day. And dinky do. Kareem, of course, has been with us this morning, and he's listening in his car. So there are hands-free, Bluetooth, all that sort of thing. Fantastic. The technology, we absolutely love it. That's what it is about. What else? Dafties make the world go round, La. Glenn, they do. Yes, I mean, we have a few dafties on at night still, and some of them are so daft we have to just put them down the soiree. So they are stick them down the stank because they're just too daft. They haven't quite got the measure of what it's all about, but they will do. Right, I'll sing the goodbye song. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Take care, everybody, as you go. Goodbye, everybody. Avita Zane, au revoir, and a cheerio. Dinky-doo, Scotty La, dinky-doo. Not streaming today, says J-Dog. Have a wonderful day, J-Dog. Stay fabulous. There we are. Dinky-doo, everybody, and ta-da, Lars.